The story starts with a dragon fighting against the legendary warrior Gaia. Then Gaia charged at the huge dragon, and he caused a gigantic explosion with his magic power. He defeated the dragon with ease and looked at his crest. The man was dissatisfied because his strength was reaching his limits. He owned the first seal that had focused on production. So the legendary warrior decided to create a reincarnation to get to the fourth crest. Below we see the legendary warrior reborn with the crest of failure. He was traveling with a merchant and could sense a monster. Suddenly, a huge tiger appeared, and the boy Mathias defeated the monster. Then he arrived in the capital, and he went into a weapon store. An adventurer wanted to have a broken sword repaired. Meanwhile, Mathias was impressed with the high-quality swords. Then he listened to the girl's conversation, and she needed a sword for the entrance exam to the magic school. The blacksmith said that the sword's enchantment is difficult to create. Mathias then offered to help the girl with casting an enchantment on her sword. And the blacksmith said that he will fail to create an enchantment with his weak crest. The girl accepted the support of Mathias. After that he met Alma and introduced himself as Mathias Hildesheim. Then Alma thanked Mathias and he blushed. Suddenly Alma's friend Ruri showed up and Mathias immediately had a crush on the cute girl. Ruri also instantly fell in love with Riz boy Mathias, and she was nervous about speaking to him. After that, the blacksmith brought the repaired sword, and Mathias started the enchantment on the sword of Ruri. So the sword was enchanted and everyone was shocked, because normally the process takes much longer. Ruri got her new sword and she unintentionally cut through the table with her sword. The swordsmith was impressed by Mathias' enchantment skills, and he couldn't believe that he just used an ordinary enchantment spell to apply the sword. However, the swordsmith thought that Mathias wanted to be an enchanter, and he respected Mathias. Followed we see Mathias taking the magic school entrance exams. He met his crush Ruri again, and also Alma showed up too. After that, the exam started, and Ruri managed to cut the examiner's sword. So Ruri managed to defeat the examiner, and she passed the test. Ruri then thanked Mathias for enchanting her sword. Suddenly he was called to his fight. Then a knight appeared. He was a friend of his father and heard about the enchantment of Mathias. So they started to prepare for their fight against each other, and Mathias immediately saw a chance to win. Then Mathias attacked the knight, and the knight was caught off guard by Mathias' sword skills. Mathias managed to defeat Gil, the leader of the Knight's Order, and the two girls were happy for Mathias' victory. Later they had to show their magic, and Ruri cast a spell to hit the targets with fire magic. Mathias was amazed that people use spells these days, because with wordless magic, the spells would be much stronger. So Ruri managed to pass the test with her crest of glory, and Mathias was aware that his crest is considered the weakest in his new life. Then Mathias had to hit the targets, but the teacher underestimated him because he had the weakest crest. However, Mathias used a powerful magic. He could use wordless magic. So he shot dangerous fireballs with his magic, and he destroyed the entire practice field. Mathias and his friends were admitted to the magic school, and they met the headmaster Edward. Edward welcomed the students to the second magic school, and wished the students every success in their studies. After his short speech, Mathias was suddenly asked into his office. Mathias was nervous, and he thought he would get a penalty for the destroyed practice field. Followed Edward was aware of Mathias' strong powers, that he didn't have to recite the spells like the other students. As a result, Mathias was asked if he could teach teachers and students to use wordless magic. Mathias was willing to help Edward, but they had a problem with the First Royal Academy. They are a school full of nobles, and they have banned the using of wordless magic, because they consider it for weak. Then Edward said that he would like to teach wordless magic to the second school with the help of Mathias. As a result, they could lift the ban and revive wordless magic in their world. Then Mathias was asked if he wanted to support Edward in his plan, so Mathias accepted to help the principal, and everyone was happy. In the days that followed, magic classes began, and the teacher said that Mathias would teach the students wordless magic. Then Mathias jumped in the air and he casted wordless magic, so he immediately destroyed 3 targets with his wordless magic. After that, Teacher Geysar showed that he can also use wordless magic now, and he destroyed a target with fire magic. He said that everyone can learn the wordless magic like Mathias. The students then learned wordless magic, and Alma showed him her using of wordless magic. Then he also looked at Ruri's progress. She was out of energy, but she was fascinated by the wordless magic. Meanwhile, Mathias wondered why the wordless magic was forgotten. Then Mathias wanted to transfer some magic to Ruri, and she received new energy. Ruri got new energy, and she was also available to cast wordless magic. A few months passed, and the first school had a battle tournament against the First Royal Academy. Mathias learned that the Royal Academy has students who are referred to as magical chosen ones. Suddenly, Mathias sensed a person who had 10 times more magic power than he did. He learned that demons cannot be conquered by humans. Then Mathias went to the battlefield and he was surprised that the demons survived. Also, the noble students from the first Royal Academy looked down on Mathias. They said that Mathias is weak and will lose. Mathias could sense that his arrogant opponent was a demon, and he got angry. However, the fight started, and Mathias instantly defeated them with wordless magic spells. The demon got angry, and Mathias noticed that he could also use wordless magic. Mathias attacked the demon and tried to decapitate him. Then his opponent dodged and they fought each other. Mathias understood why the world has changed now. Therefore, Mathias proved that his opponent is a demon, and he revealed his true form. The demon tried to escape, and he attacked Mathias. Then the demon wanted to fly away, but Mathias managed to kill the demon with his sword. Followed then, we see Gaia cast a reincarnation spell. 1,000 years later, he was reborn as a son of the Hildesheim family. Following, we see the present again, and Ruri was glad that Mathias was able to defeat the demon. Later, Mathias was shocked to learn that no human had been able to defeat a demon in the last 100 years. Then he had an audience with the king, and he introduced himself as Mathias Hildesheim to the king. The king wanted to reward Mathias with a piece of land, but he didn't want such a reward. He just wanted to get stronger, and the king offered to give him a magic sword with 2 enchantment as a reward. Mathias immediately noticed that he recently enchanted the offered sword at the blacksmith days before. As a result, the king noticed Mathias's reaction and he asked what Mathias would like to have. However, Mathias asked permission to explore a dungeon, and he would like to have the right to keep the materials found in the dungeon. Mathias knew about the rare items in the dungeon, and he feared the current age was unaware of the treasures within. The king allowed Mathias to explore the dungeon and keep the materials he found. Mathias learned that the magical chosen ones of the kingdom are all gone for now. In addition, the king had a suspicion that demons had been infiltrating the humans for centuries. Mathias was amazed by the information, because in his previous life as Gaia, he had almost wiped out all demons. Then the king learned that there was a great danger from the demons. Also, Mathias knew that the demons will not attack individually, and he believes that they will attack the kingdom as a large group. Following, Mathias suggested a solution to protect the kingdom. He told the king that all they have to do is create a barrier, as a result that will stop the demons. After that, he was given permission to freely use the king's magic items. Mathias looked for useful items for creating the barrier. Suddenly Mathias discovered one of his swords made in his previous life as Gaia. He was surprised to find one of his old orichalcum swords. Then he found another item from his previous life. He was able to get a powerful necklace. In the days that followed, Mathias supported the other students in learning wordless magic. Everyone made fast progress, and his friends knew about the barrier. After that, Mathias wanted to explore a dungeon. He asked Alma and Ruri if they wanted to form a party with him. They wanted to party with him, but they were afraid that they would be a burden to Mathias. Mathias said they are not a burden, and he showed Alma how to cast magic arrows. Alma was impressed, and Mathias encouraged her. As a result, Alma accepted to form a party with him, and Ruri also wanted to go to the dungeon with her crush Mathias. Additionally, Mathias learned that she would like to use enchantment magic. So Ruri was already looking forward to their time together as a party. Mathias's new party was formed, and they decided to seek out the dangerous dungeon. Then we see Mathias and his friends in the dungeon. Suddenly he wanted to show them something, and he showed the 2 girls a dungeon monster. Mathias had the idea of using the monster as a target. Then Alma tried to fill her arrow with magic. She successfully managed to infuse magical power into her arrows. Alma was happy, and Mathias gave her more advice. She immediately tried to follow his advice and shot an arrow. The magic arrow changed direction while flying and hit another monster. Then Alma went off to fight against monsters in the dungeon. Ruri then wanted to learn more about enchantment from Mathias, but Mathias said it was still too difficult. So he wanted to teach her the basics of enchantment magic first. Mathias wanted to teach her to produce her own weapons first. Suddenly Mathias destroyed a wall with his magic. He explained to Ruri that the whole dungeon consists of valuable resources. Followed then, he explained Ruri the process of creating a weapon. Ruri was happy to learn from Mathias and thanked him. Meanwhile, Alma diligently practiced using magic on her arrows. She could now defeat multiple monsters with just one attack. Then she discovered Alma. She managed to make her own weapons now. She then made new equipment for Alma, and her friend was grateful for the new equipment. Then Mathias wanted to reach the 10th floor of the dungeon, so they were going deeper into the dungeon. Suddenly a bunch of monsters appeared. Ruri and Alma fought against them, so they managed to defeat the monsters with ease. On the further way, more and more monsters appeared, and Ruri supported Alma in the fight. Mathias's party leveled up quickly, and the necklace from his previous life doubled their experience points in the dungeon. Suddenly a killer dog appeared. Mathias said that he is very dangerous. Then they fought the killer dog, and they successfully defeated him together. Mathias was impressed by the two cute girls and he praised them. Then Mathias created a save zone and he summoned a barrier. The girls were supposed to do a break and were protected by Mathias's barrier. He then wanted to go down to the 25th floor alone. Then Mathias made his way into the deeper floors of the dungeon. On his way down, he gathered useful resources, and he sensed a dungeon boss at a deeper floor. Following this, Mathias jumped deeper into the dungeon, and he immediately encountered many monsters. With his overwhelming power, he defeated the enemy monsters. After that, he located the dungeon boss, and he was attacked by him. The dungeon boss appeared, and Mathias fought the giant arc serpent. The giant serpent could decompose the ground with his own poison, but Mathias wasn't afraid. He was finally happy to fight a strong monster with his newly acquired Crest. He then tested his combat-specialized Crest against the dungeon boss. Mathias wanted to enjoy the fight, and he tried new techniques in the fight against the dungeon boss. Then Mathias used his sword and he slashed the serpent. He didn't die, and Mathias shattered a magic stone, and he combined it with his sword. Then he attacked the snake with a final blow and he caused an earthquake. Then we see demons, who also sensed the huge magic explosion in the dungeon. After that, Mathias returned to floor 10, and he showed the girls his defeated dungeon boss. In the afternoon, Mathias and his group visited the Adventurers Guild. The other adventurers looked at them very angry. They learned that many students of the Second Magic Academy were taking their quests. Mathias then said that he wanted to sell monsters to the guild. So he opened a portal, and the receptionist was shocked at the defeated dungeon boss that Mathias showed her. Afterwards, the receptionist learned that Mathias could use a storage spell. Then he pulled out a giant magic stone, and the receptionist said the stone could qualify as a national treasure. Suddenly Mathias said he was displeased by the small size of the magic stone. Also, the receptionist didn't know if the guild could pay enough money for the high-value goods. Later, Mathias' group got 750 gold coins as their reward, and he wanted to share the money with the two girls. On the way to the academy, Mathias sensed the aura of some demons. So we see two demons. They found out about the rumors of Mathias being a demon slayer. However, Mathias wanted to defeat the strongest demon, and he trusted that the two girls would fight against the weaker one. Mathias then started the fight against them. Mathias tried to attack one of the demons, and his attack was repelled. The demons wanted to avenge their comrade, so the demons tried to attack Mathias, but Mathias managed to stop the fire spell, and he reflected it back to Lord Ashrel. They were impressed by Mathias' power, and Mathias was casting more spells. Then Mathias lured the demons into a trap, and they were hit with magic arrows that disrupted their flow of magic. As a result, the two demons split up by fighting Mathias' group. Lord Ashrel prepared a powerful spell to wipe out Mathias. Suddenly Mathias used a spirit ball and he stopped the opponent's attack. The demon underestimated Mathias, and he failed to hit Mathias with his attacks. Mathias countered, and he was able to severely injure Lord Ashrel on his back. Suddenly the demon tried to escape, but he was paralyzed. Lord Ashrel was pushed back and he tried to lure Mathias into a trap. Mathias immediately reacted, and he managed to escape his magic circle. Mathias was fighting against the demon, and he showed him some powerful sword skills. Suddenly, he cast a magic spell that was injured the demon. Mathias then watched the demon getting weaker, so he got the chance to defeat him. Then he killed one of the demons with ease. Meanwhile, Alma and Ruri fought together against the weaker demon. They managed to get some time, and Mathias got ready to kill the second demon. Then Mathias cast the spell Light of Death, which kills a demon instantly. The demon was scared and he tried to escape. Alma shot on his wings with one of her special created arrows that Ruri produced. As a result, the demon wasn't able to escape with his destroyed wings. Mathias charged the demon and he defeated him too. So the two demons died. Mathias and his girls have successfully defeated them. Suddenly Mathias' group got a lot of attention. He didn't want to cause any problems, so he decided to run away with his group. Mathias then jumped back to the academy with the girls in his arms. The next day, Mathias and his girls were invited to the king. They were praised by the king for their heroic deeds. However, Mathias asked if he could get access to all dungeons as his reward. The king immediately agreed to his request. Then Alma and Ruri were asked what they wanted as a reward. Alma asked for money and Ruri said the same, so the king laughed and he accepted their wish. Suddenly Mathias felt the magic of a demon who was spying on them. An enemy demon was using magic to spy on the king. Mathias was able to stop the spell of the demon, and he managed to injure the enemy. Edward and the king were shocked to be spied on. Mathias then told that he is able to locate the demon's whereabout. Followed Mathias suggested countermeasures, because he wanted to go hunting the demons. Unfortunately, the distance was too far away. Mathias said his teleportation magic is useless, and Principal Edward was shocked that Mathias was able to cast teleportation magic. Afterwards, Mathias said that they will find a solution for their problem at the top of the mountain. They then arrived at the top of the mountain, and Mathias wanted to talk with a giant dark dragon. So the girls were shocked that he wanted to talk to a dangerous dragon. Mathias knew the dark dragon Iris from his previous life, because he defeated the dragon 1,000 years ago. Then Mathias was threatened by Iris. Mathias couldn't believe that Iris didn't recognize him. Suddenly, Iris prepared a powerful fire attack against Mathias. However, Mathias simply negated her spell, and Iris was shocked. She couldn't believe a human could stop her spells so easily. Mathias replied that he is Gaia's reincarnation, and Iris immediately apologized for her rude behavior. Followed Mathias said that he didn't want to kill her, instead, he wanted that Iris help them. Additionally, Iris learned that Mathias had now received the Crest of Failure. Mathias then told the two girls that they can come closer to learn about the dragon. Suddenly Iris told him about her destroyed wings and that she can't fly now. Mathias learned that after his reincarnation, humans caused many magic reactors to explode, so all mankind was sent back to the Stone Age. Then Mathias healed Iris's wings and she thanked him. After that, Iris met Ruri and Alma. They were shocked that Iris spoke the human language. Later, Mathias' group flew to the demon hide on the back of Iris. Iris was happy to help Mathias, and she wanted to fly with full speed ahead. Mathias stopped Iris because the two girls would die at her top speed. In addition, Mathias learned that his life as Gaia was becoming a legend. After that, Iris flew to the demon's location at normal speed. Thereafter we see Mathias, who immediately killed a demon guard with ease. The girls and Dragon Iris were relieved that Mathias are on their side. So Mathias discovered the hiding place of some demons, and he could sense that one of the demons was particularly strong. Suddenly, Iris failed her landing, and she crashed into the house. As a result, Alma and Ruri were knocked out by the failed landing. Next we see Mathias. He used telepathy to communicate with Alma and Ruri. Additionally, he gave Ruri a magic circle, and he told them both to prepare an attack plan. Mathias said that he believes that they both can handle the offense of their attack plan, so the both accepted, and they were going to find the demons in the abandoned house. They didn't find any demons inside the house, but Mathias sensed that the enemies were hiding with a concealment spell. Following this, Ruri concentrated, and she was able to track down a demon. After that, Mathias told them to prepare for their attack. Mathias cast a spell and he dissolved the concealment spell. Then Alma aimed at the demon. The enemy didn't realize that his spell was no longer working. So the demon was attacked by Alma with a magic arrow and she hit the demon with a headshot. The demon got angry and he looked down at Mathias. The demon thought Mathias was a scammer because he thought Mathias was still in the capital. Mathias couldn't believe how stupid the demon in front of them was. Suddenly Mathias was attacked and he communicated to Alma and Ruri to prepare their attack against the demon. Mathias fended off the demon's attacks and the enemy was attacked by the two girls with arrows. So they repeated their attack strategy, but the arrogant demon looked down on weak humans. The demon then wanted to finish them, but his body slowed down due to the magic arrows. Ruri used a poison spell, and she was able to infuse the arrowheads with strong poison. The demon was very angry, and he showed his final form which powered him up. After his transformation, Mathias explained the current situation to the girls. They were shocked by the demon's trump card. The demon was on steroids, and he intended to attack the girls. So the girls ran away, and the demon attacked an illusion. Then the demon learned that the illusion spell was combined with a poison spell. The demon was immobilized, and Alma headshot the demon with her arrow. Mathias congratulated the two girls for their victory, and he said that they should go back to Iris. However, Mathias decided to fight the strongest one alone. Followed, he used magic stones and destroyed them into fine dust. As a result of the method he used, Mathias managed to force a fog demon to manifest in his body. Suddenly, a demon appeared, who was surprised by Mathias' abilities. He said he heard rumors about Mathias. All demons knew that Mathias is a monster that is very strong for a human. However, the demon looked down on Mathias. he said. "He is stronger than the previous demons." The demon then attacked Mathias and managed to push Mathias back. Suddenly, the demon cut off Mathias's arm with his powerful wind magic. Mathias had lost an arm, and the demon wanted to end their fight. Then Mathias healed his injured body, and his arm was healed. The demon then tried to kill Mathias, but he dodged all attacks with ease. After that, the demon was poisoned, and he was angry. The demon wanted to use his last trump card, so he was tried to transform into a strong monster. Mathias stopped the transformation with a nullification spell. Suddenly the demon got angry, and he cast a fog spell that should defeat Mathias. Mathias negated the demon's spell again, and the demon was cornered by Mathias's spell. Mathias then explained that his sword slash wasn't poisonous, but he used a spell that could drain magic. Then Mathias activated a final attack, and he caused a huge explosion. Meanwhile, Ruri was very worried about Mathias. Afterwards we see Mathias standing in front of a huge crystal. Ruri immediately hugged him. She was happy that Mathias is unhurt and healthy. Mathias blushed at the cuteness of his crush Ruri. Also Alma showed up too. She was congratulated him for his win, and she asked about the giant crystal. So Mathias replied that the crystal is a dragon vein, which conduits magic power. The girls learned that the demons planned to use the dragon veins to summon an army of 5,000 monsters. They planned to attack the capital with a monster army. Then Mathias said that they can defeat the monsters, and they need the support of the other students. On the way back to school, Iris asked what she should do now. Mathias asked if she would like to join his group. Iris loved the idea, and she wanted to turn into a human. Then with a spell, Iris turned into a human without clothes. She stood naked in front of Mathias, so Ruri and Alma tried to cover his eyes. In the evening, arriving in the academy, they handed over the demon horns to Edward. He was surprised that Mathias could travel halfway around the world in just 2 days. Mathias then introduced Iris to the principal, so Edward allowed Iris to join the Magic Academy as an exchange student. Before that, Iris had to pass the same entrance exam as Mathias. Then he immediately worried that Iris would destroy the whole school if he didn't watch over her. So Mathias hoped that Iris would pass the entrance exam. Then Mathias and the girls were on their way to the bedrooms. Suddenly Mathias was holding Iris's hand, and he created a fake crest for her so she wouldn't stand out. After that, the girls wished Iris good luck for tomorrow. The next day the written exam started and Iris immediately was doing nonsense. Edward was concerned that Iris would fail to pass the entrance exam. In the second trial, Iris had to fight against the knight leader Gil. Mathias couldn't remember the man, and Ruri told him that he had fought him at the entrance exam. Then the fight started, and Iris was very clumsy. She lost immediately her sword. Suddenly Gil started to attacking, and Iris simply stopped the sword with just her hand. Gil was shocked by Iris' enormous strength. Iris then tried to counterattack, and Mathias managed to protect Gil with a barrier in time. Edward couldn't believe that Iris should be an ordinary girl. So Gil was defeated and the next trial started. Following this, Iris concentrated and tried to control her powerful magic. Iris totally failed, and Mathias creates a barrier in time. Iris said sorry to them, and she tried to hit the targets again. She couldn't manage to hit the targets. Finally, she used another spell, and Mathias used a strong barrier for protection. Iris destroyed the whole field, and everyone was shocked by her fearsome power. As a result, half of the school was destroyed and she passed the entrance exams. In the followed days we see Mathias. He was looking at the material mining of their barrier in a cave. Then Edward told him that they need more people with the Crest of Glory. He intended to ask the First Academy for support. In the afternoon, the principal of the First Royal Academy showed up. The principal of the First Academy wanted to refuse cooperate with them. Edward then said that they had more important things to do than fight. Also, Edward said that they won against the First Academy in the last tournament. The principal of the First Royal Academy didn't accept their defeat because a demon was causing trouble. So Mathias suggested to the principal that they should repeat the competition. The principal of the First Academy accepted the proposal. Mathias accepted the conditions, and they wanted to repeat the competition in 2 days. 2 days later, all students with the Crest of Glory from the First Academy showed up. The principal of the First Academy was sure that his students would easily win against Edward's school. Then Mathias's classmates showed up. They only wanted to send 5 students into the fight. The fight then started, and they were instantly defeated by wordless magic. The First Academy didn't stand a chance against the Second Academy, and they won immediately. Suddenly the principal of the Second Academy got angry. He said they was cheating, so he demanded that the students should fight against Iris. He thought Iris is weak, so Mathias gave her a sword for the fight. The principal of the first academy checked the sword. Suddenly, Iris accidentally destroyed the sword, and she was called a monster. After that, Edward complained that the first academy still refused to teach wordless magic to the students. Suddenly the king appeared and punished the principal of the second academy. The students were then entrusted to the care of the second academy, and they were to learn magic together. Later, Mathias and his friends went to the dungeon, and Mathias planned to collect valuable materials for their barrier. Then Mathias said that they have to defeat against strong monsters for collecting a big magic stone. Suddenly Iris was afraid that Mathias wants to sacrifice her for a magic stone. Mathias said he has no intention of sacrifice Iris. Followed Alma and Ruri fought against strong wolves. They made great progress and managed to defeat high-level monsters with ease. Meanwhile, Mathias was worried about Iris, because she still didn't have her powers under control. So we see Iris, who almost accidentally murdered Mathias with her sword. After defeating the monsters on the 17th floor, they went deeper into the dungeon. Arrived in the next floor, Mathias wanted to summon a monster with a magic stone. Ruri should create a magic circle with her crest of glory. Then Mathias supported behind her and he shot his load. As a result, Ruri managed to create a strong magic circle. After that, Iris should slowly pour some of her magic into the magic stone. Iris overdoes it, and Mathias tried to stop her. Suddenly, Iris sent even more magic into the magic stone. Then the dungeon floor collapsed, and Mathias asked why she hadn't slowly transferred her magic into the stone. Iris said a well-known person taught her what slowly mean. Suddenly Mathias realized that he was causing the misunderstanding in his previous life as Gaia. Then a huge dragon appeared. He wanted to kill Mathias' group. Mathias ordered Iris to attack the dragon, but her attack was blocked. Followed Iris should provoke and insult the dragon. The dragon got angry, and Iris became a lure. Following this, Ruri enchanted an arrow, and Alma shot the dragon with one of her attacks. The dragon didn't weaken, and Mathias prepared an attack strategy. Suddenly the dragon sighted the two girls and they froze in fear. Mathias said that Iris should protect the two girls. Iris immediately attacked the dragon and the dragon was pushed back. Then Iris fought against the dragon and she was briefly distracted. Iris was then stomped into the ground. Then the dragon tried to use his fire breath, but Mathias' group prevented the attack. So all the girls fought the dragon. They were able to get Mathias some time, and he told Iris to lure the dragon into his trap. Then Mathias activated his spell. He wanted to activate a very powerful spell that will kill the dragon instantly. Suddenly Iris tripped, and Mathias immediately ran to protect Iris. Mathias managed to create a barrier in time, and his final attack was a great success. Following this, Iris retrieved the dropped dragon's magic stone. After that, they returned to the academy, and they destroyed the whole area during their training. Mathias then created a training plan for the girls. Then Iris had to learn to control her dragon power as a human. Iris tried to dodge Alma's arrows in their training field with a monster on her head. Unfortunately, the training was very difficult, but Iris didn't give up. However, Mathias wanted to teach Ruri new enchantment skills. After that, Mathias told her about 8 new different enchantment spells. She was overwhelmed, and Mathias just tried to teach her the new enchantment. Mathias then gave her advice on how to cast the new spells. Ruri liked Mathias' idea of creating a sword with 8 different enchantments. Then Mathias taught her the 8-fold enchantment, and she learned it right away. Later, Ruri could create a sword with strong enchantments, and Mathias was proud of her. Meanwhile, Iris tried to better control her powers. Then Mathias said that Ruri made new weapons for everyone. So we see the 3 girls testing out their newly made weapons. The weapons were overpowered, and she could destroy a huge rock with ease. As a result, Iris tried out her new weapon too, and she almost destroyed the whole school again. The girls were shocked by Iris' her dragon power. Then Mathias wanted to try his new sword too, so Mathias trained with his friends during a fight. Several weeks passed, and Edward wanted to conjure up the protective barrier of their town with the students. Meanwhile, someone was reporting to Mathias that the communications team could sense unusual demon activities. Mathias still had to make preparations for their protective barrier. So Mathias asked if Ruri and Alma could handle the problems. Followed then we see Ruri and Alma going into the forest. Suddenly they spotted a magical energy floating in the sky. Then Ruri looked at a magic stone. She remembered Mathias's advice. Mathias told her to create magic arrows out of magic stones. In addition, Ruri should decide for herself which enchantment spells she uses. Mathias firmly believed that Ruri knew how to create the perfect enchantment. Then Ruri produced new arrows for Alma, and she thanked Ruri. Suddenly a demon appeared from the portal and Alma instantly defeated him. So the first demon died and another demon followed him out of the portal. He managed to survive Alma's attack, so Ruri showed off her sword skills. Ruri and Alma defeated 2 demons and the magic portal disappeared. Afterwards, Mathias praised his 2 girls for their great work. In addition, he explained to them that the demons are also preparing an attack. After their talk, Iris showed up. She had gotten a large load of mithril. Then we see Edward. He was already expecting the 2 girls as support in the fight. Suddenly, a magical portal was opened and a demon appeared. The demon looked down on the humans and he immediately attacked them with a powerful spell. The students managed to fend off the attack with a barrier. The demon was angry and couldn't believe that the students didn't die. Then the demon was attacked by the students. Alma shoots an arrow at him, but he easily deflected her attack. Meanwhile, Ruri was very tired enchanting the arrows and she needed more time. Alma wanted to get some more time, but the demon prepared a powerful spell. Suddenly he attacked with a fire spell, and the students defended themselves. Then we see Ruri failing to create a strong arrow. She only had 1 try left to produce a powerful arrow. Everyone encouraged her, and Ruri successfully managed to create a powerful arrow. Alma then took the chance and attacked the demon. The arrogant demon dodged the attack, so Alma changed the arrow's flight direction. Alma managed to severely injure the demon. Then the other students immediately attacked the demon. Edward and the students managed to defeat the strong demon together. Suddenly another demon appeared and he attacked them all. Then a bunch more demons appeared and they surrounded the students. Ruri was desperate, and Alma trusted that Mathias would show up in time. The demons looked down on the humans, but Mathias appeared out of nowhere. The demons were afraid of Mathias. Mathias said that now he will defeat them all. This is how Mathias launched his attacks, and he killed a whole group of demons instantly. The leader of the demon group was angry. He activated his power up. Then Mathias fought all demons and he managed to wipe out all demons with ease. Mathias successfully killed all the demons and his friends were happy that he saved them in time. After the fight, Mathias told them about the preparation of their barrier. He then went to the others in the cave and he put a magic stone into a huge crystal. The crystal glowed and Mathias created a strong protective barrier that encased the whole town. Later, Mathias told his friends that the real fun begins now. He told that the dragon vein will be activated soon, so thousands of monsters would appear towards their town. Then we see Edward and the students getting ready for the monster hunt. After that, strong monsters appeared and the sorcerers attacked all the monsters with strong spells. Mathias had prepared traps against the monsters and many monsters were quickly wiped out with the students' support. Suddenly, a second wave of monsters appeared. Mathias said his group is now taking over the fight. Then Mathias just threw Iris against a strong golem. The golem immediately fell over, and Alma defeated a golem too. Then Mathias sensed a strong monster. Followed we see a monster, who absorbed the other monsters. Mathias told the girls that a Void Eater is getting ready for battle. However, all the monsters were absorbed by the Void Eater. Mathias wanted Ruri to make a magic stone for them. Then Ruri and Mathias threw magic stones against the Void Eater. After that, the Void Eater grew in size, and manifested into a giant monster. The girls hide behind Mathias, but he was looking forward to their victory. Then they started the fight, and Mathias was happy of his chance to fight against a strong monster. Mathias used his Crest of Failure power, and he attacked the Void Eater. His attack was a success, but the Void Eater's legs regenerated immediately. So Mathias kept attacking and he used a lot of magic stones to perform powerful attacks with his sword. Then Mathias summoned more spells, and he combined them with his sword attacks. Mathias managed to bring the Void Eater to his knees. Then he used his finisher move, and he chopped the huge monster into small pieces. Mathias was able to successfully defeat the monster. He then praised his girls for their great teamwork. The whole kingdom and the students were happy that they survived the battle. Suddenly, Mathias was deep in thought, saying that he would like to explore more dungeons. The next day, Mathias told Edward that he wanted to leave school to research the dragon veins. Edward then offered him a special scholarship, because he wanted to continue supporting Mathias. Mathias accepted his offer, and Ruri was sad that Mathias wants to leave them. Suddenly, Edward also offered the other 3 girls a special scholarship. The girls immediately accepted the offer, because they wanted to continue traveling with Mathias. Mathias later thanked Edward for his big help all the time. Then Mathias and his girls said goodbye, and they started their new adventure journey together. In the following days, we see Mathias' group on their way to the next city, and a boy wished them good luck as adventurers. Mathias told the girls that they want to explore the Dokiel dungeon. Iris didn't know the city, and Ruri said that it is known as a dungeon city. Mathias was surprised. In his old life, nobody would dare to settle a city above a dangerous dungeon. Suddenly, Mathias said that they will take a shortcut through the forest. Ruri and Alma couldn't believe that Mathias decided to go into the dangerous forest full of evil monsters. So the two girls were terribly afraid, but Mathias was looking forward to fight the monsters. Then they went into the forest, and Iris said that she will protect them both. Suddenly, Mathias noticed that they hadn't encountered any monsters yet, and Iris was hungry. So they decided to take a break, and Mathias wanted to go hunting for food. Mathias started running immediately, and he wanted to explore the forest. In the forest, Mathias sensed many monsters, and he concentrated to find the leader of the monster group. Later, Mathias appeared with a giant whisk monkey that startled the two girls. Alma and Ruri told that whisk monkey are very intelligent and dangerous monsters. Mathias then unpacked his hunted prey and showed the girls a huge wild boar. The wild boar looked delicious, and Mathias explained to the girls that the wild boar is very tasty. Ruri then made cooking pots, and Iris wanted to chop firewood. When Iris got enough firewoods, Alma caused an explosion. She used normal fire magic, but the cooking pot exploded. Iris was scared about Alma's cooking skills. She protected their food, and Mathias was surprised that she couldn't cook. Then Mathias cooked delicious wild boar meat, and the girls loved Mathias' dish. After delicious meat, Alma wanted to serve a soup. Mathias and Ruri didn't trust Alma's cooking skills, but Iris wanted to try her soup. Iris then drank the soup, and she regretted to taste Alma's soup. After lunch, Mathias wanted to go further through the forest, and he said that no monster will attack them. The girls learned that the monsters are afraid of Iris's dragon aura. In the evening, they reached their destination, the dungeon town Melkia, and they saw many people were injured. Mathias sensed that the lantern is connected to a dragon vein. Suddenly, they were warned that the lantern might explode. As a result, the lantern exploded, and Mathias' group was unharmed. They later learned that the actual lord of the city forced them to use the dangerous lanterns. Ruri was shocked, and Mathias asked about the city's poor living conditions. He learned that their lord had forced most of the residents to fight against a monster on the 10th floor of the dungeon. So many were injured or died. Mathias' group couldn't believe that the lord was treating people like garbage. Then they went to the guild to get permission to explore the dungeon. The guild worker advised Mathias against asking for permission, because in exchange, they will be the lord's lapdogs. Mathias learned that he controls everything. Also, his orders are dangerous and absurd. But Mathias decided to apply for 4 permits. Suddenly, an adventurer who can cast healing magic was asked for. Mathias said he can heal the injured. He then saw many of injured adventurers in the church. The adventurers were almost dying, and Mathias learned that the new lord was causing the trouble. So Mathias decided that he will save everyone. He gave out numbers to classify them all according to their injuries. When Mathias wanted to heal the patients, a priest appeared. He didn't believe a child could save the injured, and he said it's not a game. He looked down on Mathias for having the crest of failure. Followed, Mathias proves that his crest of failure is perfect for healing. He immediately healed the man's injuries, and the man thanked Mathias. The priest was shocked, and they trusted Mathias. Then together they began to heal all the injured adventurers. As a result, Mathias' group and the priests worked together. A few hours later, all adventurers were saved, and the priest apologized to Mathias for his rudeness. He was impressed by Mathias, because Mathias performed a miracle by rescuing all the adventurers. This is how the priest thanked Mathias. Suddenly Mathias asked about their actual lord. Mathias then learned that the previous lord of the city died of an unknown disease. As a result, a new lord appeared that brought the whole city to ruin. Mathias had a hunch that the demons were to blame for the city's worst situation. After that, Mathias' group stayed in a hostel, and Mathias' group wanted to help the city. Mathias then told Ruri and Alma that he was sending a secret letter to Edouard, and that he would reporting the problems to the king. Additionally, he wanted to explore the dungeon to find out more about the dragon vine. After that, they all slept peacefully, except of Ruri. She was nervous about sleeping in the same room with Mathias. Meanwhile, Mathias was also nervous about sleeping next to his crush Ruri. Suddenly, Iris and Alma started talking together in their sleep. Mathias and Ruri both got even more nervous, and somehow tried to fall asleep. The next day, they wanted to explore the dungeons, but Ruri and Mathias couldn't sleep, because they were so nervous. Then Mathias stood in front of the dungeon gate, and Mathias discovered that the dungeon gate was manipulated. In the afternoon, Mathias brought a giant dungeon monster head to the guild. The receptionist was shocked, and Mathias said that the monster was defeated by his girls. Then the women said that the guild can accept it for now, but she has to report to the Lord about their defeated monster. Followed, Mathias secretly looked at the report to the Lord, and the women write that Mathias is a weak healer. After that we see the Lord. He was surprised that a group of adventurers could defeat strong monsters. Later, Mathias' group went out for dinner, and they celebrated their successful day. After dinner, Mathias noticed a bunch of men spying his group. Mathias lured the men into an alley, and he reported enemies to his team members via telepathy. Mathias assumed that they were the Lord's servants, so he cast an invisible spell. Then the group of Mathias became invisible, and the enemies were confused. Mathias then found out that the men had been spying his group for a long time. Suddenly they wanted to take Mathias as a hostage, and Mathias' acting was horrible. Ruri and Alma tried not to laugh about his acting skills. Then the enemies said that they know about their group. They thought Mathias was the weakest, and could only use healing magic. After that, the bandits threatened the girls, and Mathias ordered Iris not to kill the enemies. Following this, Iris approached the opponents and she beat up the bandits with ease. Iris hit them with bare knuckles, and the enemies were all defeated in just a moment. After the fight, Mathias used a spell, and he tracked down a demon. The next morning everyone woke up, and Mathias received a letter from the king. Then Mathias and his friends met the royal proxy. He wanted to deliver a message of the king personally at a secret location. So the king ordered Mathias to arrest the Lord, and Mathias wanted to do the king's mission immediately. The girls were also ready for the mission, and Mathias reported that he had already caught a few henchmen. After that, Mathias wanted to charge the Lord's hiding place. They noticed that there are no guards outside, so Mathias used a spell, and he noticed that the enemies were already waiting for them. The royal proxy wanted to withdraw for the time being, but Mathias decided to attack them all at once. Following this, Mathias entered with the front door, and the arrogant enemies attacked Mathias' group. Ruri fended off the attacks with a barrier. Then Mathias attacked with a spell, and he defeated all enemies with just one attack. All opponents were unconsciousness, and the royal proxy was impressed by Mathias' enormous power. Mathias then sensed that the lord of the town was hiding in a secret place. Mathias found a secret door under the ground. Meanwhile, the lord thought that Mathias' group had been defeated. Suddenly Mathias appeared, and Dokiel underestimated him. However, he thought Mathias is weak, and he tried to lure Mathias into a trap. Mathias attacked all enemies, and they were instantly defeated. The girls were surprised that Lord Dokiel believed the lie all along. Following this, Dokiel was arrested by the royal proxy. He refused, and he didn't accept his arrestment. As a result, Mathias cast a spell that sent him into sleep. After that, Mathias suspected that demons was supporting the Lord Dokiel. Mathias sensed the presence of a demon through a scrap of paper. So Ruri was concerned, and Mathias told them that the demons most likely want to activate the dragon vein in the dungeon. Also, the dragon vein could explode after activation and kill many people. Suddenly the ground started to shake. The demons affected the dragon vein, and Mathias sensed monsters appearing. Mathias said that the monsters will arrive in the city of Melkia in about 2 hours. Mathias wanted to deactivate the dragon vein. Followed, they went into the dungeon, and Mathias found the dragon vein. Then Iris dug a hole into the wall, and she was able to find an enormous magical power. After finding the dragon vein, Mathias told Ruri and the other girls to stop dragon vein from activating. However, Mathias wanted to defeat the demons in the meantime. So they began their mission to save the city of Melkia and prevent a catastrophe. Mathias supported Ruri with telepathy, and she tried to do her best. Mathias defeated all the monsters around them, then he tracked down a demon. The demon was expecting Mathias, and he communicated with another demon. Mathias linked into their conversation and learned that the demon's boss knows about the dangerous power of the dragon veins. Then Mathias attacked the demon, but his attack was blocked. The demon looked down at him, and Mathias noticed that a barrier weakens his attacks. Mathias understood that the barriers were specifically created against user of the Crest of Failure. As a result, the demon attacked Mathias, and he tried to kill Mathias with magical spirit balls. Mathias was able to dodge it with ease. The demon's boss knew that Mathias' Crest of Failure is the most dangerous crest, so he ordered his henchmen to use range attacks. Mathias was attacked, and he created a protective barrier in time. Ruri was worried about Mathias. He was unhurt and wanted to finish the fight. Then the demon tried to lure Mathias into a trap, but Ruri disabled the demon's traps. The demon was shocked, and Mathias cut off the demon's communication with his boss. However, Mathias began to overwhelming the demon, and he launched many strong attacks with his magic power. Mathias was a trickster, and he attacks the demon with his sword. He said that the demon fell into his trap, and the demon could no longer create a protective barrier. As a result, his boss ordered the demon to transform into his final form. So he attacked Mathias with all his strength, but he had no chance against Mathias. Mathias explained that he was just playing with him, and he showed the true power of the legendary hero Gaia. He then attacked with his sword, and he cut off the demon's arm. The demon got angry, and Mathias killed the enemy with a sword blow. The girls were happy that Mathias had won. After that, the monsters in the city also disappeared, and Mathias praised his girls for stopping the dragon veins. Alma and Iris defeated all remaining monsters, and Mathias wanted to track down the boss of the enemy demon. Suddenly the demon boss was tapping in Mathias' communication spell. He said that Mathias can't track him down, and he noticed that the demon was trying to trick him. Mathias failed to locating his whereabouts, but he threatened the demon that he would find and defeat him. In the evening we see Mathias in the dungeon, and he reported his group the current situation about the demon boss. He said the demon is trying to hide his whereabouts, so he said that they need to use a special device to track down the whereabouts of the demon boss. The girls asked where Mathias got the information about the device. He almost revealed that he built it himself a long time ago, but Iris stopped him from revealing his identity as Gaia. They wanted to go back to the capital to ask permission, so they went back to the capital and Iris was still eating. A few days later they arrived back at the school. They were shocked that the school was being rebuilt. Headmaster Edward then appeared. He greeted Mathias and the girls. Then he said that they are currently increasing the protection of the school buildings to be prepared against demon attacks. Afterwards, Mathias reported that they had to cross the land border of the nation of Rodinia in search of a magic item. Edward said it will be problematic, but he will take care of it. Then Mathias offered that he will help with the construction of the school until the answer of their permission. Iris was happy, but the others were more worried, because she is a little bit clumsy. So they went outside and Mathias studied the construction plan. Iris said that she is Albanian. Suddenly she stumbled and caused more problems. A few days later, Mathias received the king's permission to cross the country's borders. Next on, they were on their way to a new town. They were looking for to find Mathias's magic device. Mathias' device is in a restricted location where only high-ranked adventurers can enter. So they had to increase their adventure rank quickly, and Mathias wanted to use Iris Dragon transformation if they fail to rank up. However, Mathias was received by the guildmaster and he was made aware of Mathias. The king of the Ace Kingdom had told him about Mathias, so wanted to support the group in raising their rank quickly. Followed the guildmaster immediately allowed Mathias' group to take the A rank exam. Then Mathias and his girls found out that they had to pass a practice fight against a selected examiner. Suddenly the adventurer Giluas appeared. He said that he is today's examiner, and the guildmaster was surprised. Mathias felt a strong aura caused by Giluas. Then the guildmaster told that Giluas is an S-rank adventurer. In addition, Mathias learned that he is a battle junkie. The guildmaster found Giluas unsuitable as an examiner, but Giluas wanted to be the examiner for them. Giluas was a troublemaker, but Mathias wanted to fight against him too. However, all three girls from Mathias' group were told that they all passed the exam. Suddenly Giluas said that he wanted to challenge the famous hero Mathias to a fight. Mathias accepted his challenge. Then they went into the fighting area, and Giluas was looking forward to defeating Mathias. The guildmaster told the girls that Giluas is a combat expert. Then Giluas said that he will avoid to use magic. After that, Mathias sensed that Giluas was using magic despite his announcement. Giluas used magic unconsciously, and Mathias understood that he didn't know it himself. So the two started their fight, and Mathias was attacked. Mathias immediately analyzed his fighting techniques and movements. During the fight, Mathias could sense that Giluas is activating many different spells. He suspected that Giluas could use all spells through his instincts. Then Giluas said that Mathias should show his full power. Giluas then copied Mathias's technique and jumped through the air to increase his speed. Suddenly Mathias was attacked by Giluas, and he blocked his opponent's attack with ease. Afterwards Mathias showed his power, and he defeated Giluas with just a single attack. Thus Giluas was defeated and he accepted his loss. Mathias won the fight, and Giluas said that he experienced a loss in a fight for the first time. Then Mathias pulled out a textbook from his item box. He wanted to help Giluas become stronger, and he gave Giluas a book about magic as a present. So Giluas thought spells were useless in battle, and Mathias explained to him that he also used wordless magic in battles. Followed Gilluas thanked Mathias, but reading books was too much for him. After the fight, Mathias befriended with Gilluas, and he asked Mathias to become an S-rank adventurer. Mathias replied that he only needs an A rank because he wants to explore a restricted area. Suddenly, Gilluas told that the city of Folkia is behaving suspiciously lately. Gilluas then offered his new friend to call him for help if they have any problems there. Later, Mathias' group was checked in the next town and they were given passes that they had to carry with them. Mathias immediately noticed that a magic code is written in the passes, so the girls found out that the people of the town of Folkia use magic spells from demons. Mathias suspected that a demon might be controlling the city. Suddenly, Mathias spotted mercenaries and Mathias wanted to disable the evil mercenaries group. He then gave Ruri and Alma a magic item that puts the enemies to sleep. Then he created an illusion of his two friends. However, Mathias started to lure the opponents into a trap, so Mathias and Iris were attacked by arrows. Iris got angry and wanted to beat up her opponents. Mathias stopped her, because she almost screwed up their plan to send the enemies into sleep. Followed then, Ruri activated Mathias's magic item. As a result, all opponents were asleep. Mathias couldn't see Alma and Ruri. Suddenly he saw the two girls sleeping too. Further, Iris wanted to take the chance and she got a brush to paint Alma's face. Mathias then woke Ruri up, and she was embarrassed to have fallen asleep too. After that, Alma woke up, and Ruri laughed at her painted face. Alma was shocked, and Iris said she is innocent. Later we see Mathias' group in front of the town Folkia. Ruri could sense demons and she said that there are 30 enemy demons in the city. Mathias said that the demons are most likely disguising themselves as humans. Ruri and Alma were afraid that there were 30 demons in the city, so Mathias replied that the demi-demons are weak. As a result, they fight together as a team. Mathias already had a plan to defeat the demons, so he showed the girls a secret entrance. They then went into the underground of the city Folkia. Suddenly, Ruri was frightened by a little mouse. So Ruri apologized and Mathias replied that everything is fine. After that, they moved on and Mathias tracked down an enemy demon nearby. They couldn't go any further, but Mathias used a spell. He could walk through walls like a ghost, and he hypnotized the enemy demon with a spell. Iris then wanted to paint the demon's face, but Mathias stopped her silly behavior. After that, we see Mathias' group in Folkia town center. The people of the city were walking like zombies. Mathias guessed that he was on the Walking Dead series, so he used a spell and found out that the people are controlled by demons. Later, Mathias' group discovered that the demons turned people into junkies with a magic symbol. Followed, Mathias creates the fake symbols to fool the demons. Mathias said that Iris should act like a junkie. Suddenly, clumsy Iris stumbled and a demon immediately appeared. He thought the spell was too strong for her, and Mathias' group was able to successfully sneak into the factory. Then they discovered that the citizens mine a lot of magic stones. Mathias said that the magic stones are dangerous, because with the many magic stones they can cause a huge explosion. Mathias was aware that they haven't collected enough magic stone to destroy a kingdom yet. After that, he came up with a plan to save the humans and defeat the demons. Further, Mathias looked at a city map to prepare for battle. Then Mathias explained that the senses of the demons are all connected. Ruri and Alma were desperate, but Mathias said he had a plan to eliminate them with ease. However, the mission to wipe out the evil demons began. Mathias summoned a huge beam of energy that alerted the demons. The leader of the demi-demons ordered the other demons to locate the magical energy. So all the demons tried to sense the magic power and they took their positions. Suddenly, they were baited by Iris and Mathias attacked the demi-demons from behind. However, all demons were slowly defeated and Mathias managed to wipe out the enemies with ease. The demons were confused and they couldn't repel the attacks from him. Then, sometime before, we see Mathias explaining his plan to Ruri and Alma. He used Iris as bait to distract their enemies. Mathias planned that Iris try to lure the demi-demons away from the center, so Iris was frustrated because she had to be the bait again. After that, Mathias continued to fight the demons, and Iris lured the enemies to her. They were a good team, so they were able to defeat countless of demons. Later, Iris continued to lure the demons to her, and the others started secretly attacking them. The demons thought that Iris was acting alone, and nobody knew that she still had friends, who secretly supported her from the shadow. The leader of the demi-demons then wondered how they could be defeated so quickly. He suspected that Mathias' group uses traps, so the demons tried to track down more enemies, but Alma and Ruri extinguished their presence. The demons failed to track down the enemies, and slowly all died. Suddenly the leader realized how they were able to defeat them. Meanwhile, Mathias' group had already defeated 22 demons. Then the leader looked at a corpse and he noticed 2 different traces of attacks. The leader of the demi-demons then reported to his members about their situation. The leader intended to use the magic crystals because he wanted to destroy the entire city. Suddenly a demon was killed, and the S-rank adventurer Giluas appeared. The demons thought adventurer Giluas is the hidden assassin. Mathias felt the aura of his buddy, and he was happy that reinforcements showed up in town. As a result, Mathias was able to sneakily attack the demons from behind, without being noticed. Suddenly the demons wanted to attack Mathias, but Iris threw her spear at the demons. Then Mathias defeated more demons, and he thanked Iris for the great distraction. Meanwhile, Giluas fought the demi-demon's leader, but he was very strong. The demon injured Giluas, and Mathias asked if he needed some help. Giluas wanted to keep fighting against the demon. Then the leader of the demi-demons looked down on humans. Subsequently, both fighters increased their physical strength, and they both punched each other. Nobody could overwhelm the opponent, but Mathias believed that his buddy Giluas could win. Then Giluas was pushed back and the demon insulted him. Giluas got angry, and he showed him a new technique. He could severely injure the demi-demon's leader. Giluas ran out of strength and the demon wounded Giluas with a sword slash. So Giluas remained stubborn, and he attacked the demon with his last strength. The 2 fighters were badly injured, but they both wanted to win the fight. Then both fighters unleashed their powers and attacked each other with their swords. Suddenly the sun came up, and Giluas managed to win the fight. Mathias congratulated Giluas on his victory, and he thought the fight was over. Suddenly the demon's eyes opened just before his death. Suddenly the demon woke up, and he tried to attack Ruri and Alma. Mathias managed to protect the 2 girls in time. Mathias felt a stronger aura than before, and the demon began to speak. The demon was controlled by a more powerful demon. He used the corpse to send a message to Mathias. Mathias knew that only a special demon possessed the ability to cast such powerful magic. Suddenly Giluas asked Mathias for help, so Mathias went to heal him. However, adventurer Giluas was healed, and he said thanks. Meanwhile, the villagers were freed from the hypnosis spell, and they were all confused. Giluas said that he handled the situation, so he told about the emergency authorization law. Mathias' group learned that he is now in command of the state on a temporary basis. Giluas then sought a position of leadership, and he chose a new man to be the new lord of the town. Mathias' group was shocked by Giluas' decision. Mathias later received the guild-issued permit for entering the Folkia districted area. He thanked Giluas, and they said goodbye. Mathias then went on a new journey to find his magic device. Arriving in an old ruin, Mathias said he was surprised to find such a great abandoned estate. He didn't say he built it by himself. Then they stood in front of a pyramid, and there was no way into the pyramid. Mathias said that throwing magic into the pyramid reveals an entrance. So the pyramid started to levitate, and Mathias created a path into the ruins. Ruri was impressed by Mathias, and she called him a genius. After that, Mathias decided to jump into the dark hole. The girls jumped after using body amplification spells. Iris also jumped down and she destroyed the ground. Then they discovered the magic device from Mathias. He wanted to activate the device and said to the girls that they can search for magic items. Alma and Ruri were motivated to find treasures. Suddenly Iris started to look around too, because she wanted to find some food. Mathias then activated his device, and Ruri found an old sword from his previous life. Mathias was concerned, because he knew the sword found was useless. He recalled that in his past, he had a time period, which he designed weapons that look cool, but are actually terribly weak. Following this, Alma found a giant spear, and Mathias explained that it has many flaws that can kill everyone by using. Alma was shocked, and Iris showed up with preserved foods. They were thousands of years old, and Iris fainted after opening the cans. Mathias then activated the magical device. So the ground started to shook, and Mathias said he wanted to track down the magic power of the demon leader from Melkia. The magic device displayed a lot of data. Ruri learned that the demon he was looking for is the most dangerous and the strongest one. Mathias said that he is most likely already planning to wipe out all of humanity, and they can use a magic crystal to find him. Alma remembered the magic crystal they found in the dungeon. As a result, Mathias placed the magic crystal in the magic device. Suddenly lightning appeared, which overloaded the system. The computer device signaled an alarm and everything glowed red. Mathias learned that the seal of the demon Zardius will be broken soon. Followed Mathias said Zardius is stronger than him at the moment. The girls were worried, and they couldn't believe that a demon is supposed to be stronger than Mathias. Also, Mathias said that with an immortal spell, they would allowed to train for hundreds of years to defeat him. In the meantime, almost all humans would have been wiped out, and they would have to rebuild humanity. The girls were afraid, but Mathias had no other plan than to train for hundreds of years. Suddenly Iris suggested him an idea. She had the idea to find a powerful weapon. So Mathias planned to find a legendary sword that he built in his previous life. As a result, he found his old sword in the royal chamber. Meanwhile, the demon Zardias gained his freedom. Later, Mathias gave Alma and Ruri crystals that had the ability to detect his sword. Suddenly they felt the powerful aura of Zardias. Mathias said that they need to find the legendary sword quickly. Mathias wanted to stop Zardias and try not to die in the fight. Before they arrived in the capital, Ruri said that they will bring the sword to him. Mathias trusted his friends, and they started their plan. Following this, Ruri and Alma wanted to break into the royal chamber, and they panicked when they saw the barrier. The two girls were able to successfully went through into the barrier. In the meantime, Mathias prepared his attack. He strengthened his sword and told Iris that he wanted to use an attack to prevent the demon's space spells. Mathias wasn't sure if his plan would be successful, but he hoped to buy enough time. Then we see Alma and Ruri running to the royal palace. Alma was unsure if they could break into the royal chamber. Ruri cheered them up and said they could do it. Then they jumped on a house and she felt a demon's aura. Mathias immediately attacked Zardias' spell, but the spell was too strong. Mathias couldn't stop Zardias from teleporting and Zardias appeared. Everyone looked at the sky and Mathias told Iris to attack Zardias with her breath of fire. As a result, Iris prepared a powerful fire spell and Mathias told her to flee immediately after the attack. Iris attacked Zardias with full power and she caused a huge explosion. The residents were scared and the two girls immediately ran to the royal palace. Zardias wasn't defeated and he looked down on Mathias. Then he threatened Mathias and said that he will kill him with ease. Zardias then took out his sword from an item box. Mathias tried to attack first, but Zardias countered with a sword slash. So Zardias' sword flew towards Iris, but Mathias deflected the attack with several barriers. Zardias then launched an attack on Mathias, and he noticed that Mathias is weaker than his previous life as Gaia. At the royal palace, Ruri and Alma asked the guards to let them enter the royal chamber. He refused, and he called more guards for backup. Suddenly the king appeared, and Ruri told him about the demon Zardias. The king gave them both access to the royal chamber, and they thanked him. Meanwhile, Mathias fended off Zardias' strong attacks. Mathias didn't get a chance to attack, and he was badly injured. Zardias expected more from Mathias, and Iris managed to catch the injured Mathias. Mathias kept trying to buy time, but he was aware of their power gap. Zardias was disappointed that Mathias is a weak little boy. Suddenly Mathias decided to sacrifice his life to defeat Zardias, because he wanted to save all his friends. Then we see Ruri and Alma looking for the magic weapon. After that, the magic stone of Ruri glowed, and they discovered the legendary sword of Gaia. They immediately rushed to bring the sword to Mathias, who was fighting against Zardias. The demon leader knew that Mathias was buying time for something. So he attacked the barrier, and Mathias was distracted in their fight. Zardias used his weakness to overwhelm Mathias, and he intended to destroy the barrier of the kingdom. Then Mathias suddenly realized that Zardias could revive dead demons. Followed a defeated demon appeared that tried to attack Ruri. Alma shot arrows, and she was able to lure the demon into her trap. The arrows hit the demon, and Ruri managed to slash the demon. Then another demon appeared. He threatened to hand over the magic weapon that they were using. In addition, he had captured students as hostages, whom he intended to kill. Ruri and Alma were in trouble. Also Mathias was shocked that Zardias had revived the dead demons. Then Zardias tried to destroy the barrier again. Zardias was only faking, because he was actually aiming at Iris. Mathias barely had time to protect himself, and he was cornered. The demon laughed at Mathias for protecting weak people. Meanwhile, the hostages said they are ready to die. But the two girls decided to hand over their weapons. Followed Mathias hoped that Ruri and Alma could bring him his sword in time. Then Mathias had no more strength. He considered giving up the fight. He also considered using another reincarnation spell to defeat the demon in his next life. Unfortunately, he recalled the memories of their friends, who were trusting him their life. As a result, Mathias decided to sacrifice his life, and he continued to attacking Zardias. Meanwhile, Edward and the other students showed up for support. Followed, they managed to overwhelm the evil demon. So Alma got a chance to attack the demon with her arrows. After that, the other students tied the demon up. Then we see Mathias converting part of his life energy into magical power. So he could keep fighting the demon, and he trusted Alma and Ruri, who wanted to bring him the sword. So he attacked together with Iris, but her attack was stopped. Iris fell to the ground, and she said that Alma and Ruri should throw the sword to Mathias immediately. When Mathias received the sword, he was killed by demon Zardias, and his friends were shocked. Mathias was slashed, and the girls couldn't believe that Mathias, their last hope, is dead. Ruri was crying and she was screaming his name. Suddenly, the legendary sword glowed up, and Mathias was instantly healed. Mathias said his sword is activated by his death. Mathias was happy to receive his masterpiece, because the sword gives him a huge amount of magic that's have an effect like steroids. Mathias got faster and stronger, so the demon was shocked. Zardias didn't want to accept that a human can overwhelm him. As a result, Mathias said that he is the strongest hero with the crest of failure. Then he attacked the demon and he defeated Zardias with a strong sword blow. Before Zardias died, he told Mathias that there are several chaos demons that are just as strong. Mathias won the fight, and Ruri was happy that Mathias is alive. Mathias blushed and his injuries started bleeding. Headmaster Edward also showed up. He congratulated Mathias for his victory. Also, he said no one was hurt and they just need to repair some buildings. After that, Mathias said that the legendary sword still has magic left and he needs to use it up. So he swung his sword and he caused huge damage. Everyone was shocked when he used up the remaining magic on the sword. The next morning, Mathias got ready for the day, and the girls wanted to see Mathias. However, Mathias opened the door and they said to Mathias good morning. After that, they went together to meet up with the king, and he wanted to give Mathias a reward. Mathias wanted to continue living his adventurer's life, and he was glad that the king didn't want the sword back, because it's useless now. Then Alma wished for many treasures as a reward, and Ruri was embarrassed by Alma. Also, Iris only wished for delicious food. Later, Mathias and his friends looked around the royal chamber. Mathias didn't find anything useful, and Iris said she wasn't interested either. Then Iris realized that an arrow was stuck in her head, and Mathias recalled the memories of his old bow. So he planned to gift Alma with his old bow. Mathias learned that they took the rusted bow to a trading house. Mathias and his friends thought the strong bow had already been melted down. Then the seller said he remembered about the bow. Suddenly he showed them a block of metal, and Mathias wanted to buy it immediately. He intended to make a bow for Alma. After that, Iris discovered a huge crystal and she asked Mathias to buy it for her as a souvenir. So he bought the giant crystal for Iris as a gift. Then Alma said that Ruri was looking at something interesting. Alma gave him the advice to create some jewelry with the crystal. After their shopping trip, Principal Edward reported that they have a problem. The leader of the knights showed him a wooden puppet, and said that soon 300 wooden puppets will attack the kingdom. Mathias then analyzed the wooden puppet, and he found out that the puppets have human life energy. They suspected that the kingdom of Sil was controlled by demons, so Mathias was given a new mission. In the night, Mathias wanted to give his crush his self-made jewelry, so Ruri closed her eyes and she received a magic necklace from Mathias. She loved the gift from Mathias and she thanked him,